Welcome back to this best of 3 between Swole Patrol and NTC. Back and forth affair early on, but NTC managed to stabilize and take things over the line once they got the double sniper rifles popping on their CT side.
Yeah, it looked a little bit weird in certain places for both teams. And Swole Patrol, they did a lot of things right and well, but I think we see just that class of NTC, that experience of NTC just shining through there. And Train is always going to be a good map for them, so I'm curious how things will progress moving forwards onto a map like Cache, which is a map which a team like Swole Patrol is going to be very, very comfortable on. So I think if they are to show us a W, obviously it's got to be now because they lost the first map already, but I think this would be one of the best possible places for them to do it.
Yes, it will be interesting. Hopefully the Gremlins and the unforced errors on the side will be left in the previous map. Again, there was that one round where they lost by timeout purely because they didn't choose to plant the bomb in time. So those things could be left behind. They can be forgotten about, and we can focus on Cache. And the knife is about to start, so we don't know who's starting on what side just yet. But Cache is it's a familiar map.
Sorry, man, this music.
This is weird music, actually, isn't it? Who chose this?
It seems very...
Let's just take a moment, listen to it. God, this is mad funky. This is like, you know, when you're at some wedding and there's a bad DJ and your dad gets up and starts dancing, like, please let me just have the earth swallow me or something.
This is so like...
What genre?
This doesn't match up with anything.
What genre of music is this?
Oh my god.
Okay, producer's trying to say it matches up a little bit with Brazilian music. Like 10%. It's like an instrument.
I feel like you know, it's like an intro to a sitcom or something like that.
You're an outro. This is the pilot. Never got commissioned. Right, Swole Patrol will be starting on the CT side. They will be defenders of the universe, and NTC will be, I guess, Thanos with that Doom Fist. So let's kick things off. Why would you ever say that?
No, it's just something that's missing now. And
dignity, respect.
Well, T side for the Brazilians for NTC, and it is a classic A retake setup for Swole Patrol. The only difference is that you have Cooper, who is there, who can hear the door should it open. Because typically, if you play A retake and the guy's in the car, he won't hear the door being opened. So Cooper knows what's up, and surely rotation can commence. Rotation can commence. Rotation has not commenced. Now rotation has commenced. That's a little bit too late, but it doesn't really matter too much. Cooper was always going to die, I would say.
Bit still has a smoke grenade, which is massive because he can drop it between the wall and the red box, and that makes retake really hard. He's thrown it somewhere. There it is. That just really compromises how the CTs can retake, but 2 quite quick frags can make quite a difference. FNX with a wishful grenade does good damage actually, but he's allowed one player to get onto the site itself, and that player has picked off Cello now. The bomb is planted for FNX. He needs to go for the right pick. He has to find the diffuser. Now he's lining up. Operation Human Shield is working out, and the reload won't come in time. But he'll get some bonus money at the very least. The round, however, will go to Swole Patrol. Now, when you see that smoke grenade on a buy round, obviously the hold will be much stronger, but pistols being what they are, Swole Patrol win that one anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I'll always be surprised by teams where no one wants to, wait, they want to have like one guy on a smoke kit. Like just one guy should have a smoke kit. It changes everything. Anyway. Got a bunch of pistols there on NTC and not too much for Swole Patrol to really complain about. The only reason I bring that up with the 5 Kevlars instead of the smoke kit is because you actually do see it in the top level of Counter-Strike a lot, that it will be ignored. Well,
I feel like if you look at NRG and a smoke kit, I almost feel like they just design retakes where they just spread out, run distraction while Daps diffuses the bomb, because it happens so often.
Yeah, I think that's very, very viable. I mean, the whole point of it is that the smoke creates a lot of pressure because you have to run out your positions to try to kill that guy and just exposes so many people. And I think, you know, that's so much more valuable than just having an extra Kevlar and no ability to force the T's from a position. And that's always something you have to consider. It's the very reason why Molotovs are so powerful. What do? They deposition the defense, you know, if that's the primary purpose. Like moving players around, depositioning them, that's one of the most important things in Counter-Strike, which is why understanding rotations is very critical. But enough about that. We move into the next round, both teams with a bye. And we can see that the AKs come out for NTC due to the fact that they did get the bomb plant in the first round. And it's often very scary. A lot of teams will favor going middle, just due to the fact that the AK advantage is pretty heavy, and you don't have as much utility. So you want to fight mid. You really that's what you want. And the CTs might be giving that to them. Phelps able to take down Cooper for no cost. And if they try to trade in middle, they may just have to give this up to NTC, to be honest. Although, that is a very nice response from Freakazoid. Risky, but it works out.
Sometimes you have to take them. He chooses his timing wisely. They could not respond fast enough. But now NTC are focused on the B bomb site. Zealous in the vent, Lil Man on B site, Silence in the connector. That leaves only Freakazoid on his own, but NTC, the execute is coming out pretty slow after all those Molotovs, and they won't be able to reap the rewards of them. Freakazoid almost with a second kill through the smoke. The double peek is there, the trade is there. Freakazoid really delivering in this round. 2 on 2, 40 seconds. The bomb is still not on the site. It's Bit. He's stuck here with 2 HP. 1 versus 2 now. Slightly repositioning, but he's got to find the heads. He has to find the heads. Lil Man and Zealous. They know that 2 players are alive. FNX on the corner of the site. Now Lil Man starting to back off, starting to wonder if they've rotated. I don't know if they just saw Bit again, because that would be the bomb on the radar. And now he can plant the bomb.
Yeah, they've actually made this kind of doable. Health is obviously a concern, but Finesse? Finesse?
Not Finesse.
FNX. Wow.
Maybe that's his ultimate goal, though, to make it onto a Brazilian team.
Yeah.
With KNG.
Oh my god. The funny thing is that happened in my brain a couple hours ago, but I stopped myself. But I think it just slipped through. FNX. He makes it happen. They line up for him. Very well done. Very well done indeed. And a self-pop flash there to get out into middle. A deep smoke from the CTs. It was actually an opportunity to run forward through the smoke, and there still is due to Kianji being out there, and indeed that's the case. So quick mid-take coming in from NTC. That's always really nice to have, especially if you don't take any damage doing it, of which they have not. This is looking really bad for Swole Patrol. Freakazoid is going to be pushing with Cooper, though. This is a really nice retake attempt. Can they get any other frags from it, though? Kianji will trade them out, though. That's not how they wanted that to go.
Silent was in the smoke, falls off, and all of a sudden everything turns around. The bomb hasn't committed anywhere just yet. No one's on the A site, so Silent might rotate over there to try and find out what's going on. No, he's going towards B. Even though Zealous is in the checker's position, 2 smokes down at the front of the B bomb site. Bomb collected. But NTC have no idea how out of position Swole Patrol are with regards to A, so they will advance slowly. They've got 50 seconds, 5-0 on the clock. 1 smoke, 1 Molotov. They're suggesting a B play with the molly, but with only 2 players alive, what do the CTs make of that Molotov? Does it make sense that 1 player is going to throw that molly from outside A if they're actually going B?
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where it's actually so likely that it's just a fake. But we'll see if anything can work here for NTC. Silent gets a very well-timed peek onto Bid, and even though FNX is a little bit late to that one, he does a good job in closing down the kill. Needs to get the other one. He has to get this kill quickly. If he can do so, there's a real chance to win the round. There's no time to plant the bomb. He can't be messing around like this. Has to go straight for the frag, and you can see the juking and jiving there from Silent. He knows that he's done enough, and that will be that. Some damage incurred. In fact, a really nice retake of middle. That was really where everything sort of came together for Swole Patrol. If they had sort of half-heartedly tried to retake middle, instead of throwing everybody that they could at it, this round would not have gone their way, I think. But they effectively committed 4 players into mid on the retake.
Another multi-frag round for Silent. He has been very active today. And with only 1 round on the board, that will leave NTC in a difficult position. Phelps is AK, no Kevlar. I feel like maybe give him the Deagle and give FNX the AK, so at least he can... I mean, aim punch isn't what it used to be, but it's still a problem. But this is what they've chosen to do. Not every day you see AK, no Kevlar. I will say again, I do think they should give that to a player with Kevlar, but whatever. FNX is, I think he's on a boost position, and there's Cello picked off. I don't know how much the CT saw there, but it's an easy crossfire for the CT side. There's not much really for NTC to offer so far. Still stuck in the choke points. KNG will finally get a kill. In the meantime, FNX trying to catch plays out of position with that Deagle. And now it's Phelps naked to try and get something done with the AK-47.
He naked. And he dead. At this point, Phelps could just try to use the time to his advantage and see if he can catch somebody. That said, you're only saving about $2,700 of value here, so do you just decide to give it up at a chance at some economic damage to your opponents? Looks like that won't be the case. He doesn't really have a position to make a play, so he'll hold on to this. It does make the money a bit weird though, because you know, surviving after time like this, you'll get no money in addition, and he has no Kevlar. He's going to hold on to the AK.
Left the bomb on the floor to attract Swole Patrol like flies, and that worked. Gave him some extra space with which to save. A nice touch there, but again, it was an unusual... I mean...
I prefer him dying there, just trying to get a frag.
Yes, I don't know if this makes sense, because you can try and get a frag in the previous round and then have money with your team here, or you can try and get a frag in this round and then not have money with your team in the next round. So you could argue that it could be a catalogue of errors we're seeing from NTC. They are a map up, but don't need to be sloppy with the decision making here.
Yeah, because if you know you're going to lose the AK one way or another, you'd want to lose the AK and get the bonus money both times. So it's one of those things. We'll see though if he can convert it.
But it looks like they're really going to try to win this round. And the point being is that the pistoling players don't get picked off quickly while they wait for the AK to get an entry. Hasn't really happened. Now Bits picked up the AK. FNX with an M4. There is a flank coming in, so NTC are contained now. It's a very difficult position around the vent, so Cooper will not overcommit. And they'll get an AK for their troubles. So now we look at the T money, and everybody's on 4,000 plus, and Phelps is on 2,400. So was that worth it? Not really. Again, mistakes were made. 5-1 now in favour of Swole Patrol. And they'll have an easier time of things than they otherwise might with Phelps on that Deagle.
Yeah, I think this is a great map for them. And look at this, they're going to send a bunch of players towards B, playing aggro here. And, wow, Bit able to just barely get out of there in time. Looking very confident in how he was moving. That did not really catch him off guard, which was really useful. Almost lining up for Cooper, though. Now Cooper's worked his way into the sunroom position. Surely no one will challenge him. And it looks like Phelps was hanging around and gets caught by Lil Man. And that might commit NTC into A. See that FNX tries to make a play, gets shut down. And really it's just one sort of desperate attempt after another. Freakazoid, beautiful stuff there, multi-kill for him. As they defend expertly well.
I hope Cooper has a gun called Cooper Trooper. I think that needs to be a thing.
Yeah, that'd be good, yeah. Cooper Trooper, nice. Nice.
I mean, it's an easy win. Everybody wins, nobody loses. He has a very forward spawn. Does he go for an aggression? I mean, the thing about this is, even if you have a great spawn to go for an aggression, you have to bear in mind what round you're doing it in. You're up against pistol, so if that was Fox, for example, he would go very deep and push on the right round. This is not the right round, but he is not at a point of no return, but he is out there. He's out there like Skadoodle. NTC concentrating their pistols towards the A site.
1, 2, 3, not gonna be going his way. Some damage done. Gonna be more here for NTC. Phelps hanging out. They know he's nearby somewhere. He has collected the bomb, but once again, no Kevlar. At least his money is with his team this time. Unless he decides to save to save after the time.
Interestingly, he's given himself a 1 versus 1 simply by waiting. I thought that Zealous may have seen him go towards that side of main, but apparently not. And there we go. Now he's got a chance to win the entire round because he's forced the CT to spread out across the entire map. 1 versus 2. He's got the post plant, but he chooses the angle to suggest that he may have been going towards main. See if it works out for him. This is what he has decided. Both of these players have a kit, but it's going to be hard to trade when one plays on the sniper and one plays on the M4. Molly towards the forklift position to eliminate that. Does he choose to flank these players? It is a gamble. He doesn't know where both of them are. And indeed, Zealous is watching that flank. He could jump on the boxes. The smoke is down, and he... Oh, boy, does he go past the angle? He finds it anyway. The spray transfer is there. And just from waiting a few seconds, Phelps gets to 1 versus 1. Master stroke of the smoke grenade. Wins an unlikely round for NTC.
Damn, that's so cool, isn't it? He lost 0 points of health, had no Kevlar the entire time. This was a really fantastic frag to open it up, and that was you couldn't really have made a more perfect play to finish that off at the end. Found the exact way, maybe the only way to win the round. Okay, so 2 rounds now for NTC, and Swole Patrol, they've been receiving quite a bit of damage here or there, so their money's not going to be too enormous just yet. Indeed, it's they are being pushed to the brink. This is the last buy. For a while, if NTC win this one, they'll press the big red reset button. And once again, Cooper up to his old tricks. Swole Patrol putting lots of emphasis on taking map control away. Putting an AWPer in Sunroom is definitely... It feels good whenever you have an AWP there, but that does not feel good. KNG finding a very nice angle into silence.
If you have a rifle here, this is a strong position because in that corner he can see all the way through to the vents. So he could rotate a player over, but that would be predicated on having possession of mid as well. Which they kind of have and don't have at the moment.
Yeah, it's actually more unconventional. He's actually pushing. Freakazoid push as well, gets caught out by the boosted position. And now it's down to Lil Man. He's got to go close. Oh my god, this is going to be really tough for Lil Man. He's got Celsius to perhaps play off of, but KNG finds him as well. They are being picked apart one by one, limb from limb. Torn asunder until there's nothing left.
Unanswered frag after unanswered frag. Despite the good positions over towards the B bomb site, nothing doing on A. 6-3. And NTC are on the comeback for sure. For sure. They've broken the money of Swole Patrol, as indicated by Daniel Kapadia. Kapadia, yeah, see, I was confused. I said Capdia. Well, there we go. Anti-eco territory for NTC, and they are taking the territory by force. Take man Twix by force. Send man shot by force. 2 pistols left. Not much to be done here by Swole Patrol. Have they peaked already in this game of Counter-Strike? That is a question.
It is a question. Okay. Not too much going on here for Mr. Freakazoid. It'll be interesting to see if they can find a creative way to get back in this. What I have enjoyed seeing from them so far is a willingness to just be aggressive and take away map control. We saw all the efforts towards B storage repeatedly. That's something that they can do to the lockers or the A main, whatever you would like to call it. Or even, you know, if you're just playing squeaky. We've seen a lot of top players and how they, you know, the numerous ways in which you can take squeaky and make it safe. Cirque does it really, really well with a flashbang. by himself. See the classic CT smoke there. And we can note that CT smoke is put down straight away. And that can play an advantage of the T side. If you can call that, you can say, well, they've used one of the smokes already. And then you can throw, you know, do the classic cross smoke and the molly for the close position on the checker's position as well. And keep that pressure up. That can be just with one player, and you can effectively, you know, keep 2 players there, waste more grenades. There's a lot of nuance to utility usage between the 2 teams and how you read that on the T side. Now, Zelsis, is there someone waiting for him?
That could be huge.
As he drops out, because that's not deep enough.
Yeah, that could be absolutely huge, because you won't expect it to not go far enough. So this is not going to be a focus for these Ts necessarily, especially with now Lil Man is essentially baiting by just shoulder peeking. Ooh, Molly's all over the place. He can jump on a box at the back of the site now with that smoke. Some feet spotted. Celeste, not a fan of feet. He's looking for more than that. And he will pick off the bomb carrier, which, look at the time on the clock here. It's allowing the CTs to rotate back in. And that could be huge. Lil Man goes for a duel, though, and just raining frags from NTC. Smoke goes down once again. Got to be careful crossing to site. And that's what the pop flash is for, because there is a gap there to be had. And now the bomb can go down planted for checkers. Cooper's already in CT spawn. He's having none of this, while Zealous kind of makes his way towards B, but he is being expected. The carpet was out, and he was wrapped in the carpet and then thrown in a river, Dan, tied to some bricks.
Yeah, that worked out pretty well in the end for NTC. I didn't look at that and think that they'd survive with 4 players and win the round. Very nice indeed. Quite the comeback. This will be the 4th round in a row, so the loss bonus is building for Swole Patrol, but they need a save next round with only 1 player surviving. Things are starting to fall apart a little bit. Again, though, you know, they do show a good understanding of the CT side. I'd love to see some, you know, Lockers aggressions from them and Squeaky aggressions. Now, we haven't seen much of that. I don't know if we have seen any of that, you know, as sort of like the first aggression taken. We'll have to see what they decide to do. Very nice from FNX. Kianji with the catch onto Zelsis in the back as well. And here it is, the half buy from Swole Patrol. And the spam, all the bullets hailing in through the main position will work out, but Phelps with a trio of kills to equalize things quite quickly.
Got to be careful on those eco rounds, especially going for the fast peek in mid. Could be grenades, could be loads of guns. But the AWP is collected. Cello has a spawn to have a look. Have a look-see. Let's see. KNG spawn is, well, Cello could move out of the way for KNG. Is not too far behind him. Almost blocks him anyway. But off he goes. I think KNG will take the... No, he won't. He's just holding the angle for the cross. For a player to be under the boost position. But Silent will smoke off to start the proceedings here in round number 13. 6-6, a good start for Swole Patrol, but it's been 5 rounds in a row now for NTC. On the plus side, Swole Patrol at max loss bonus, which is why they have the 2 AWPs out and a bunch of utility, but you need more than a loss bonus. You need win bonus.
It's all very quiet, isn't it? All very quiet. Kenji can't find anything with the AWP yet. And the bomb is waiting in Squeaky Door. So that really tells us that A is where they want to finish, but they've not really pressed much else of the map. And that can be an issue. Cross smokes there in the middle area is important to create some pressure, create some doubt. And, ooh, Swole Patrol are bunkering up in B. They interpret the smokes as a B play, and this is going to be a fake. This could work out so well. The 4th player now from Swole Patrol going down towards B for the moment, and now the pick comes into A, and they understand they've seen the bomb there. But it's done its work. The fake has worked.
Man, these AWPs, KNG is all over the place. Cello's still lurking on the B bomb site, which leaves Silent waiting for a cross. It's a fun angle to hold, but not when your whole team is dead. It's a fun angle to hold, but nobody to hold.
It's really interesting because I felt like Swole Patrol's reaction to the cross smokes was a bit too exaggerated because there hadn't been any pressure towards B at all in the entire round, I don't think, from NTC. They just played really passively, and then eventually threw some cross smokes. And so Swole Patrol immediately interpreted that as, this has to be a B play. And of course that's sort of one of the safest things to do at a lower level, but at this level of play, you got to ask some questions. We've seen nothing, we've heard nothing at all round on B. But that's how it goes. Sometimes you got to make the hard calls, got to make the gambles, and this time it works out very well for NTC, to their credits. And their money is outrageous. KNG on 16k, Cello not far off that. Pistols out again for a Swole Patrol. Is looking really good for them now.
Yes, 9-6 is favourable for NTC. Favourable scenario, favourable outcome at this point. KNG, for once, on the receiving end of an AWP. But you see the hunt is on. Got to be careful, though, because if they lose a few players going crazy, they haven't quite won this round just yet. And now they have. But if that was another kill for Zelsys, then 1 versus 2, the bombs in no man's land needs to be collected, taken, planted, and so on. So let's not go too crazy. Anyway, 9-6. Phelps has the forward spawn. Will he take the AWP, though? Doesn't seem so. Double AWPs out once more for Swole Patrol. They'll play a 2-2-1 setup. Lil Man entrusted with the B bomb site, and we may see a fast boost.
And behind the initial incendiary, slow down the timing of the T's. Zelsys gearing up for the push. In it goes. Successful aggression. NTC now need to respond quickly. There's Phelps, very fast. Wow, that is very bold. And fortune favors the bold, as they say, as Phelps picks up the kill. But Freakazoid moving in on the flank there. Oh, the flick from Silent not really working as they wanted. Now KNG finds the pick into the A bomb site, and all of a sudden, Freakazoid's lurk play now becomes him just trying to win the round by himself.
Did he just about not see the bomb on the radar? Now he sees it. Now he sees it, but he's missed his opportunity. That is information, and there's time for this T side. Jumps out before the flashbang, vintage Stratego. But Lil Man has an angle, and he must prevail because he is the last man. The Lil Man is the only man. No one's reaching on the top shelves today. There's Phelps taking that, but he spots him. Now Bit chooses to hold the angle. He hasn't quite picked up the bomb just yet. And he may want to do that. Dodges the AWP, but KNG will finish him off with the CZ. Could have been worse for NTC, but 9-6, I think they'll be happy with that. 8 rounds in a row after going down 6-1.
Yeah, if we think back to Phelps' clutch, which was, I think, the round that started the streak, that is pretty insane. It's quite intense. It was, I think he got 4 kills in total in a round where he had no Kevlar, just an AK, and gets wins with, I think, a 1v3 at the end, with, you know, all the juking in the 1v2 for to stop the plant, the defuse from happening. So very, very crazy stuff there. NTC coming out with that 9-6 indeed. On the CT side, Phelps is, ooh, it could be a good lineup for him. We'll see if he comes out in the right moment.
Surely he was spotted there. Flashbang comes in high, but it is to no avail. Phelps delivering 2 kills, Bits in with 1 as well. 2 versus 3, bomb down in front of the site. There are flashes but no smokes for this T side. USP's collected, all range is equal now. The alternative plant for Checkers. Freakazoid has to cover the vent and also T spawn area. Not expecting KNG to take that angle. He has some warning with the vent being unbroken. But again, so many places for him to look. He just can't look everywhere at the same time. Only has so many eyes. His screen is only so wide.
Maybe we should get some more.
Get some more eyes. Fish eyes.
I have to say that's a pretty cool outcome for both sides, honestly. You know, the worst case scenario is avoided and not getting a plant at all. And for NTC, you know, they get to start with some good money as well. So I'm curious to see how Swole Patrol's first AK buy round's going to go. As I mentioned, most teams decide to go middle. It's just very favorable. You don't have many grenades, but you do have significant long-range advantages with the AKs. So it's the most sensible choice usually. Quick smoke there. That's really useful because it can create a forward position. It can slow down any rush timings. You can see Cello can try to work with the smoke, get some info. Kianji just sitting by the forklift. So NTC ready for all kinds of jazz. Except maybe the kind of jazz that was being played before this game started.
No one's ready for that.
No.
Cello alone in the B-bomb site. If the numbers game comes his way, I do wonder what will come of this round. And now 4 players are heading in that direction. Phelps looks like he wants to rotate. They've got no eyes towards B. No pop flash will have anybody peeking behind it. Although Phelps is moving into position and he might be able to do that just in time. He is peppering these players. He's got the M4A4, those extra bullets coming in handy. And that is a well-timed play from the CT side, an aggressive peek. They will bleach the floors of B.
Starting to get out of hand now for Swole Patrol. They need these AKs. They need them to do the job. Is it going to be a middle play? Surely it will be. It's either that or run a fast set piece somewhere. But again, if you do that, you lose the advantages of those AKs a little bit. We do have a good selection of rifles here for NTC, but FAMAS UMP is in the mix. And here's the push over the top into middle. That's a nice first defense coming from KNG. Trades out for his teammate. So even trades here, but I almost said it again. FNX is pushing all the way. And the bomb's being spotted now and dropped by Phelps as the flank comes in from FNX. So he is really a timer on this round for Swole Patrol because I don't think there's any way that FNX is not winning this round right now for NTC. Cooper sandwiched. Bomb discovered again. And Celsius, all hope rests on his shoulders in this 1v1. Oh, he hit. Oh, he got the dink, James. He was robbed. If he had an AK,
robbery
would have been a frag.
NTC now double the score of their opponent, who do not have the money to really make that better for themselves. Not just yet. Versus 2 AWPs, can they overwhelm a sniper rifle player, or will the support be there, or will the support not even be required? See if they go for an aggressive angle towards the B-bomb site, or with a flashbang perhaps. There are 2 flashes in tow for Swole Patrol, lining up the wall of smokes in the middle position. Will it be a simple split of the B-bomb site? A preemptive grenade flies over the boost position, but nobody's there. Now, it looks like this wall of smoke is to suggest a B play. Will they be popping the vent? FNX almost wanted to make his way towards that mid position, but he's going back to focus on A. And indeed, the kills do start to rain in. There's the bomb spotted. That is almost complete information. The only thing missing now is where is Zelsis. They want to make him missing. Get your posters ready, because he is not long for this world and doesn't seem. So there's an opportunity to collect a gun. Tries to bait the shot out. Reaches the M4. All the shoulder picking in the world, really trying to get something out of this, but no, he will make the milk carton after all.
Important rounds being won by NTC. They creep ever closer to taking this best of 3. 3 rounds away now, and Swole Patrol with one of their last best chances to turn the tide, turn the momentum, flip the tables. Who doesn't love a good table flip? 3 AWPs! How dare you?
NTC special.
How dare you?
Do it for Brazil.
Yes, this is quite bold, but the start is fantastic, undeniably so. Cello opens things up with an M4 kill. Phelps holding the angle with the AWP. Swole Patrol, they're in a lot of trouble right now. How do they get back in this one? What are they waiting for here? There's a flash. Cello's still hungry, as is Phelps. I feel like there's so much tension towards B storage still. KNG with another frag. That will push them into the engagements on B storage, of which NTC will come out well and truly on top.
Silent alone. Now he joins his friends in Valhalla, perhaps. 14-6. Swole Patrol have not won a round yet in this half. They did win the first pistol rounds, and they've only got 6 rounds to show for it so far. AK's out for the most part. Cooper limited to the CZ. You could say he's a mini Cooper. Swole Patrol setting up for a split of the A site. 3 players towards the door. Cooper's got a Molotov. Cooper's dead. No more Molotov for Cooper. The minis has got an MOT. And again, I feel like this has been almost every round where they've been ill-equipped, although they mostly had equipment here, but they got wrecked regardless. And that is match point now. NTC on a cusp of a 2-0 victory over Swole Patrol. Can they take it over the line?
Yeah, it's looking pretty good now, isn't it? Honestly, when we saw the first half, I felt like there was such a strong contest from Swole Patrol. They looked really good in a lot of the defenses. We saw these like cool multi-kills from Freakazoid and all that jazz, and it's all really fallen apart, hasn't it? And the triple orbs, they've been working quite well for NTC so far in the limited sample size that we have. And Swole Patrol, did they feel as though they have a good response here in this matchup, or maybe it's just as that just that their playbook is a little bit too shallow to deal with this? It's hard to say. But NTC, they're warming up. KNG is hitting some nice flicks now. That's something that we know him for.
Was that supposed to go there?
I don't know.
I doubt it.
I don't think it was. There's been a few missed Molotovs so far today. It happens. But should it happen? The answer is no.
Cello and FNX towards the B bomb site. Bit has been pop flashed into main, and no one is close enough to hear it. Cello, though, out of position, but still gets a 180. Style points for him. FNX trying to escape the site, but he goes for the peak, and he gets eliminated. Phelps has angles on the cross, and now he's got nothing. He's on the cross. KNG and Bit remain. Do they want to give up these weapons? I think is a question that needs to be asked. Whether they've got money in the next round or not is not necessarily the points.
Yeah, I fancied NTC for this round when it started. It was very nice from Swole Patrol to make it work. However, it was a matter of timing there, with it just sort of picking a pretty good window to attack the B-bomb site, catching one of the defenders in the open in a 2v1. That's how you want to do it. And just keeping the momentum forward onto the side after that. It was a pretty simple way to win a round. Not necessarily a consistent approach, however. Goodbye. Bit might be able to get another kill or 2 here. Ooh, almost got himself 3 at the end of the round. That would be worth it.
Keep him weak.
Yeah. 7 rounds to 15. Still quite a ways to go.
KNG with a very forward spawn, probably the best spawn he could possibly have. What does he choose to do with it? He has an AWP, could go for a B play, could go for even a peek in the middle position with a molly, but he goes for the traditional smoke grenade, but maybe a boost is in order, getting there very quickly indeed. No, he's here on his own, he's just taking this angle. Well, alrighty then. Bits will be supporting from the white box or sandbag area, rather, so this would be a nasty surprise, but let's see how it plays out.
Yeah, it's really cool to see forward smokes like that. Oof, that angle very deep. That's a very aggressive angle with the AWP. You have to be quite confident you won't get traded from the boost position. And it looks like Freakazoid may... I'm not sure if he was up there at that moment to trade, but... Look at Cello now working with the sound. This is what you're talking about, James. Like with the rifle can be really strong here. It's very dynamic. You have a lot of angles to play with. And Cello knows he's got that kill. Taking his time. And this looks like it could very well be it. 5 versus 1. Silent will emerge from the door. His presence is known. Nicely done, but It is nothing but a mere consolation headshot, 16-7. Swole Patrol have been dispatched by the Brazilian... What do you call them, James? The Brazilian hopefuls. Yeah.
Team works as well. The Brazilian
But it doesn't
team.
sound fancy, James. You've got to make it sound fancy. That's our job.
Well,
Make stuff sound fancy.
They've done the trick there. That was... I mean, yeah, it started well. I thought, okay, this will get competitive, perhaps. But then they kind of run out of steam fairly quickly, and it was all NTC catch-up, takeover, and then they just went with it all the way. What else can we say, really? It was a solid performance from NTC, and a match they were supposed to win. They should have won. They had to win. They did win, and on they go.
Yeah, it seems as though they struggled with an approach on their T side. It felt like they had a bunch of ideas, but you didn't see the overall game plan where all the ideas sort of come together to fit some strategic approach. So definitely some work to be done there for them. But I think, you know, at the same time, I liked how active NTC were. You know, we saw some of that fire, that Brazilian fire. We saw like the mass AWP purchases. We saw, you know, the aggression and, you know, letting loose KNG, letting loose, you know, Phelps. Phelps had an amazing clutch. If Phelps didn't have that clutch when he did in the first half, that game could have looked very different. I mean, he had it in a moment where there was a lot of momentum for the opposition, for Swole Patrol.
Indeed, he did. Thoughts of the desk with Frankie? No 2-1 for you.
No 2-1 for me, but I do have this watermelon that Mr. James Bardolph gifted me. Maybe a commiseration prize of sorts. I was looking forward to making him eat this whole later, alongside with his words, but sadly it was not to be. And Swole Patrol, despite some initial promise in both of those maps, just couldn't quite see it home, could they?
No, it didn't quite go the distance, and I guess it's to be expected somewhat. And in one way, it's positive to see out of NTC the fact that they're able to close out games. They don't fumble around too much, even though Train definitely could have been a little bit, you know, better handled, I guess is the way I would put it. On Cash, I think we just saw a much better approach for them, even though they did have a couple of stumbles there as well. But if NTC can kind of play their way into form, then again, I still think we can't really write them off from being a top 2 contender.
I was practicing my dance moves upstairs.
I saw that. Yeah, that's when it all turned.
But it was because yeah, exactly. It was my fault because Swole Patrol were looking fairly confident going to their CT side at the start, and you were saying, you know, this is a T-sided map on Cash. So I was like, yes, because when they swap round, we're going to see even more action. And then they didn't win a single round after that. I was upset, Jacob.
Phelps had that one versus 2 clutch, right? Where the score was 6-1, I believe.
I think it was 6. No, 1 versus 3 actually.
1 versus 3.
Yeah,
exactly. And at that point, NTC went on to win 14 rounds in a row. So that just showed you how, you know, it took so little to throw Swole Patrol off the guard, basically, and that's just how it goes when a better team face a less good candidate. And Swole Patrol, yeah, they did a few promising things, but overall we just have to face the fact that they were not ready to go up against a team like NTC. And that said, I don't feel NTC were necessarily playing too well. Phelps had a great game individually, but that said, you know, that was it. Dan said it, you know, they were aggressive, but they were allowed to be aggressive because the level and the firepower from Swole Patrol was not able to stop it. But I think they're going to struggle against United. This is not NTC playing up to their full potential right now, so next game should be much closer.
I need to start practicing my funeral march moves for my next dance, boys, because I'm not doing well here. But a man who is doing very well, because he's with our winning team NTC, is Parla.
Brazil out of the World Cup, but not out of the FACEIT minds. Parabens, me, amigos. Phelps, let's start with you. Near to 230 bombs there. Great performance.
I can speak Portuguese?
Of course, if you'd like.
Acho que o nosso time não tá numa boa, tipo, nos restos dos campeonatos, mas a gente, cada jogo tenta se superar, tenta confiar um no outro, se motivar dentro do jogo. Então, acho que conforme a gente vai jogando, conforme a gente vai ganhando os mapas, a gente vai criando mais confiança e acho que está sendo importante pro time. Tô tentando chamar a responsabilidade.
And just a quick summary in English of what you said.
Okay.
Or if one of your teammates would like to, bit maybe.
Honestly, I don't remember exactly what he said, but yeah, he just said we're not very good right now, but as long as we are winning some matches, we're gaining like confidence, and we're gonna become better and throughout the tournaments.
On that final round on Cash, it seemed that when Cello had pushed out of the B site and Vito KNG had got that great position on mid, that at least from an perspective that as we were watching, that round was pretty much over based on positioning. Did you guys feel that? I know Cello went for the knife near the end as well.
Qual round foi esse?
The last round, né?
He tried to knife. He's strong. I don't know why. I don't know why he did that.
Yeah, but just in general, that round, in the early stages where you got your positions, were you very confident that you were going to win from there?
I think the game was like pretty good for us. So at this point, I think the game was like 15-7 or something. So we're like very confident at this moment. Yeah.
All right, and overall, with regards to you guys as a team, you're playing as NTC, Lincoln's own brand, FNX's own brand, and you're trying to kind of work your way back into the scene after different rosters and different storylines. Are you guys happy with where you are right now, and are you feeling confident overall with regards to the minor?
Yeah, I think in some practices we're doing very good, so we're just trying to translate the practice games to the tournaments, which we are not doing very good right now. So we cannot be happy with how we are playing right now, but I think we are playing better. We started the tournaments a little bit off, like communication was not very good, and like individual mistakes as well, but I think we played good right now, and I think we're going to do better against E-United again.
And that's the final question I'd like to ask to all of you. E-United up next, best of 3. Are you going to be getting revenge for earlier today?
I believe that we win, of course.
And Cello?
2-0.
2-0, you've heard it from the guys themselves. You'll have to repeat your performance against Swole if you'd like that to happen. Now, let's head back to the guys on the desk.
Now, boys, I know that NTC are admitting to their mistakes. They have the potential to be in that challenger stage, but they're not quite showing it yet. But I want to talk about the players on NTC. Any individuals that you think, yeah, you know what, they're really showing promising?
I mean, yeah, and again, Phelps is the obvious suspect, I guess, to pull out that because he had a great performance on both Train and Cash. I also think we got to see more out of KNG, especially on that ladder map on Cash than what we did, you know, in their first matchup versus United, where he actually got outshone by Ace, which is somewhat unexpected. But I think this is what pulls NTC through in many cases, because they're alluding to it themselves. They're not being able to transfer what they're doing in practice, how well they're playing there, into official games, and that's a massive issue. That's a big hurdle that you need to overcome. But I mean, it's the individuals that's going to save them until they manage to kind of mesh that out and figure out how to translate it.
And there you go. We can see some stats on the screen right now. So Freakazoid, obviously the Swole Patrol built around him. No surprises there at the top. Cooper, his brother,
having a bit of a worse time.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he had a good first map though, but I think it's really cool to see someone like Bit. We don't really necessarily talk too much about him. He's the old head in that squad. Well, together with FNX, only 1 year difference, but Bit has again been a staple of Brazilian CS for so long, but he hasn't really had any sort of big impact on CS:GO per se. You know, FNX has won majors. Bit has kind of just been in the background, but it's cool to see that he is also able to kind of hang with the bigger boys in that sense and actually still perform and contribute. I think that's really nice.
Well, you mentioned Phelps earlier, and I know that there was a moment on Train that you particularly wanted to highlight, Vendetta.
Yeah, no, it's just kind of to showcase what kind of cerebral player he is. Again, you know, at the start of SK and even in Immortals, people were talking about him as basically knowing only one mode, and that's just gung-ho. Here we see a much more different approach to it, and how he's actually just single-handedly winning the round with a late flank through connector. Not the most uncommon thing to see, especially from a player like Phelps, who's extremely good at lurking, but just having the presence of mind to not just fire off bullets immediately. I mean, your reaction when you saw this as it was going down is like, why is he not shooting? And that's because he's waiting for that opportune moment to get as much out of it as possible. And you can see finding 3 frags completely destroys any sort of hope of a retake that Swole Patrol has. And that's a big swing round as well, because I think at that point it was 5-4 or 4-5 in favor of Swole Patrol in any case. And it kind of helped them get back into the groove of things and solidify their T side.
But having done that, Jacob, the other teams are going to see that when they're VOD reviewing. Do you think that NTC are going to be able to use that tactic again?
Without a doubt, that's the quality about Phelps. He can make it work over and over again because he's so I wouldn't say unpredictable, but he plays in a way that is not easy to read because he does a lot of different stuff. Vendetta alert into it. He's this machine just goes in first and kills everyone and then dies, and then he can be this lurker role as well. So you never really know where you got him. It plays into both an advantage and a disadvantage because as teammates to Phelps, you don't know really where he is, right? And that can be annoying for a teammate sometimes to think, oh, Phelps, I thought you were behind me, but he's on the other side of the map all of a sudden, right? That happens and it's annoying to play with. But on the other hand, it's the type of stuff that wins you rounds and makes you very unpredictable and hard to read when you play against them. So it has its good side and its bad sides. And the thing about Phelps is he's so good at doing it. So it is a good side for NTC, and it is the biggest weapon right now, especially if they want to win against E United. And
they did mention in that interview with Parla that their voice comms haven't been on point so far, but they are through to the final best of 3 of the day. It's going to be a revenge match against E United. E United probably warming up, didn't see that performance, haven't seen that NTC are bringing it together now. Who do you think is the tightest of those teams right now?
I mean, from what we saw, I mean, we don't really have too much to harp on from E United. I think anyone who goes up against Energy in this group would have had a rough time, especially on a map like Overpass. So, if anything, if you're going to pull out some negatives on E United, it would be their veto process, I guess. Now they get to go into a best of 3, so a bit more room to work with in that sense. But, yeah, no, I'd still say that I still favor NTC, even though E United has had the better showings. You know, in the limited amount of time we've been able to see them here.
Well, we'll talk a bit more about those showings after the break because we need to go to a break right now. But before we do, I want to say congratulations to FACEIT because they've just won a UK Esports Award for Service Provider of the Year. So hopefully these guys will get to have a celebration upstairs after we wrap tonight. And apparently I won the presenter award. So I'm really excited.
Shabby.
Yeah, not too shabby. I don't want to blow my own trumpet, but thank you to everyone who voted. And now, can we have a look at the bracket, please, upstairs? Your award winners, you. So E United are going to be playing against NTC after the break in a best of 3 to see who will be going through to Monday. In fact, we're not going to have a break. We're actually going to step right in, which is quite nice because we started that conversation about how we felt about this matchup between E United and NTC. And Jacob, I didn't get round to you. So who do you think is the tighter team?
I think when you look at it as a team, I think United is the better team. I think it has a better core and a better understanding of how to play off each other and how to work as a team. Better practice possibilities in N8 than NTC has had in Brazil ever since they left Cologne. So in that sense, they're the better team. But when you look at the individuals on this server and when you look at the players they're going up against, it doesn't add up. FNX, Phelps, KNJ, great players and great prospects for teams like SK and even better Brazilian teams. So it's going to be super tough for United to do that one more time. I think the best of one were the fact that helped them against Mirage, and they weren't really warmed up. NTC, now we've seen they can play well, and going up against in a best of 3, it's going to be tough to not only win 1 but 2 maps against them.
Now I got so excited that I made a mistake.
You brought a watermelon.
I thought we were going to a break. We're going to show the bracket. That is my bad. I'm so sorry, everyone upstairs, the men upstairs. I'm sorry. Forgive me. We're actually going to go over to Freya now because she's going to be talking to one of the teams from the final matchup of the day.
That's right, Frankie. I'm here with Relics from E United. So are you guys feeling confident going up against NTC next, seeing as you beat them in a best of 1 earlier today?
Yeah, I think we're pretty confident. I mean, obviously a BO3 comes down to who has a deeper map pool, and it's a little bit harder to necessarily get the maps you want. But I think we're feeling pretty confident. We were happy with how we played versus them in the BO1, and I think that we could have even had a more favorable scoreline than what we showed.
So as some members of NTC said to Parla just a minute ago, they're feeling very confident coming into this matchup. I think Cello said he's going to beat you 2-0. How do you respond to that?
He's put his money where his mouth is.
So we're going to see NTC take on E United after the break. Don't go anywhere.